So so that way if you need to undo something, it's not far in your document's path that you can undo it. Okay? What spelling and grammar check, shortly called Spellcheck, it finds potential spelling and grammar errors in your document. For spelling, it compares each word against words that are in the dictionary. It'll highlight it by putting a red squiggle line underneath the word. And as you can see in the example up on the screen, barely, there's a little squiggle line under website and basic and informative because those are spelled incorrectly. Now, there are tendencies for it to highlight words that are actually spelled correctly because they're not in the built-in dictionary. Proper names, it will often highlight as misspelled. But the other issue that you need to be careful of is that sometimes it won't identify a misspelled word. So you always need to review your document before you turn it in, because, like, for example, you wanted to put from, but you actually typed form. The program is not going to know the difference. All it's going to look for is to make sure that all the words are spelled correctly. Also, the difference between there and there. If you're wanting to do it about, where something is, you would put there. But if you actually type there, T-H-E-I-R, it's not going to know. So you always need to make sure you review your document just for that purpose. The other thing that Spellcheck will do is check your grammar. It'll flag potential grammar and style mistakes that you make, and it will highlight it by putting a green squiggle line underneath it. Now this will identify like run-on sentences, fragmented sentences, possessive, incorrect use of possessives, things like that. It will identify those, and by running Spellcheck, it will actually give you a dialog box, and it will identify each item and give you a suggestion, whether it's spelling or grammar. It'll give you what it suggests, and it'll allow you to either accept it or ignore it. You can manually run Spellcheck so that you can actually get the proofing box by going to the beginning of your document. You're going to click the Review tab and click on Spelling and Grammar. Now, if it doesn't find anything, you're going to get this lovely little box at the top on the right that says the Spelling and Grammar check is complete. And you just click OK, and you're all ready to go. But again, you still want to review it because, again, it won't identify words that aren't incorrectly spelled. Now, if there are errors found, the Spelling and Grammar window will pop up, and it will go to the first error it finds, and it will give you the suggestions. In this example, I have where it shows an address, and it identified Fretwell as incorrect. Well, for this, it would be correct, so I would click Ignore. And it identified it because that's not a word that's in its built-in dictionary. So this is an example of what it would find and say is an error when it's not. Again, always save your work. Save and save often. I cannot say that enough. I have in my past lost many documents, large chunks, because I got involved in my document and didn't save. And Word does give you the option to auto-save, so it will automatically save, but you cannot trust that because it is a computer program, and computer programs are not infallible. And so you actually want to make sure that you personally save your document several times in the process so you don't lose information. Okay. The biggest resource here in Windows is their help feature. It is an awesome tool that allows you to, research things that you're not familiar with, whether it's, adding headers. If you get into it and you're like, okay, I'm really not sure I'm doing this right, you can click on the little question mark that's in the circle, and it will pop up this dialog box and will actually let you search, and it'll give you, support. And this is actually through Microsoft Office that pops up, and you can research, anything from creating a document to, how to put in a header or footer and complex things, adding charts and such. So I gave you some handouts. One is the workshop handout for the Library Learning Commons, the Student Success. There are all the workshops that are going on here in the Learning Center. I also gave you a list of the hours for the Library Learning Commons so that you know for the spring schedule. The other thing that I gave you is a pamphlet on for the printing here in the library.